If you look at sort of all of the sort of hegemonic projects of modernity, okay, individualism is one, okay? So it's attempting to get you to view the relationships that you did not choose as a burden upon you to liberate yourself from. That's called autonomy, okay? And you actually undergo this process of self-making by breaking those bonds and rebelling against those bonds and sort of acting autonomously from them. So you view your relationship with your parents and your, opposite the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to view them, which is an indebtedness that's supposed to bring us to gratitude, right? As he pairs the verses of Tawheed with obedience to parents, because there's a sort of indebtedness that's there. So it's a transferable skill, right? The practice of gratitude, which is our deen is all about the practice of gratitude. The idea of individualism is quite different, where you're, now sort of resentful of something you didn't ask for. Wasn't there a guy in India that sued his parents for giving birth to him, right? So this is kind of like the final logical expression of individualism, right? It's like, it's kufr in the linguistic sense, kufr and ni'mah, right? It's the denial and rejection of actually a blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you to relate to it in a mode of gratitude. So that's just one, and that, goes to your relationships with your neighbors, your relationships to your brothers and sisters, the relationships to your extended relatives, your experience of duty that you have, or when you're called upon to fulfill a duty to them. Modern society is trying to make you into an island of your own silo of self-meaning, right, and self-referencing. It's basically like the echo chamber of social media, but in real life. That's just one thing. There's also secularization, which is my favorite thing to talk about. So that has to do with how we even relate to our deen. Okay, so when we come to Islam and we make we like to slap that Islamic label on something to halalify it, Islamic finance, Islamic feminism, Islamic everything, right? This is actually part of the playbook of secularization, where we're changing the way that we're relating to our own deen in a secularized way. We're privatizing it. It's becoming more about personal piety and less about those sort of communal obligations that the brother was talking about earlier. All these things, relating to the world in a sense of scarcity, or from a scarcity mindset, which also crosses over into red pill. This is part of the modern sort of assumption that what's real is material, and that the spiritual is like something you can believe in on your own time, but it's not really real. I could go on. There's a ton of things. So, this is like, you need to do an inventory of these things if you want to push back against them, because they operate in the background without you even noticing.